a calmness and steadiness of character and action, men who could lead an army on a battlefield, throw a spear or javelin, or engage in hand-to-hand combat just as easily as they could converse with the greatest minds of their day. The Latin saying, mens sana in corpore sano, was accepted as the most obvious truth in all ages prior to our own. We recognized that there was real value to the shaping of perspective and worldview in being a balanced human being, not neglecting any area of development and recognizing they all play a role in the creation of a well-adjusted personality. Feminine grace and beauty were considered innate gifts granted from on high, and chastity as something sacred and valuable. For the most powerful examples of this archetype, men were more than willing to fight and die. Such women were the muse underlying many of the greatest expeditions, works of art, acts of bravery, and self-sacrifice. Men viewed this mysterious feminine nature with great awe and respect. It was a single woman, Helen of Troy, that stands as the principal figure and cause of what may be the most formative single event in Western history, the fall of Troy, an event that has shaped our psyche in profound ways extending up to the present day. Instead of recognizing the unique value and strengths of these two energies and respecting their interplay as one of the foremost energy-producing dynamics underlying all of nature, we've witnessed them being caricatured, mocked and demeaned, and finally denied entirely. Instead of embracing them as complementary forces in a symbiotic relationship, helping to infuse the world with a positive tension, a spirit, energy, we're being taught to view them as adversarial, as if we were engaged in some petty us versus them struggle. What was formerly a reciprocal dance has now become a pitched battle. This is heartbreaking to watch. We have feminist movements in which a significant percentage of adherents believe men to be the foremost problem preventing a better world from taking shape. We have movements like MGTOW, which essentially see women as the foremost problem. For those forces seeking to use divide and conquer tactics to further their own ends, the toxic atmosphere created between males and females in our age certainly ranks amongst their greatest successes. Divided into warring camps, the positive tension becomes negative tension, and the harmony is destroyed and replaced with chaos and dissipated energy. In concert with the directing of these natural energies against one another, we're witnessing a push to destroy them entirely. Whether by coincidence or design, the past few decades witnessed the most extreme changes in hormonal balance in human history. In a very real sense, men are no longer men, women no longer women, and this development is universally pushed why? What would the impulse be to engage in such behavior? This is the instinctive reaction of every well-constituted soul, and capable of recognizing how those at the polar opposite end of the spectrum of psychological health think and operate. In my view, there are two potential answers here. The first is that this destruction is willful, purposeful, with some enterprising, parasitic souls recognizing that the only way to dominate and control nations, perhaps even the world at large, is to destroy their roots and foundations, sever everything that makes them strong, confident, allows them to plant their feet and feel secure. To create a breed of mindless, consumerist cogs in a machine, one would need to destroy their love and respect for their own fundamental nature, and cause them to embrace the unnatural as modern, as progress. The other option is that this destruction wasn't willful or purposeful, but rather a collection of parasitic souls living out their own archetype. Picture a lost and unhealthy drug addict, consumed with self-loathing, pushing one of his few remaining friends to try his drug of choice. Not fully recognizing his urge to do so was spurred on by wanting to see his friend fall to the same depths as he, to eliminate that vast chasm between them that acts as a constant reminder of his sick condition, to have additional company in the depths. Now picture this happening on a macro level. Regardless of the why, the how is a bit easier to definitively trace with some clarity. For decades, we've been confronted with only the most negative portrayals of masculinity and femininity. Instead of highlighting the courage, that sense of loyalty and honor in those countless generations of men who proved willing to fight and die for their nations and ideals, or the stoic self-sacrifice of a husband and father working his hands to the bone to provide a better life for his children than his own parents were able to provide for him, we're instead presented with an image of masculinity as the root of unjust treatment of the weak at the hands of the strong, or the sneering and hateful demeaning of women, the hollering at a TV screen during football season with beer in hand. We've lost the conception of the elegant and graceful feminine, the intuitive empath that selflessly acts as the glue binding the family together, the imperturbable rock helping to make both husband and family into better and stronger people. Prevailing culture has told a generation of girls that their value lies in pursuing dollars to buy things, and has thus belittled the most important occupation of them all, the molding and shaping of future generations, the literal creation and cultivation of healthy and happy human beings through informed and loving motherhood. In the world of entertainment that so helps shape our conception of reality, we've lost our Marlon Brando, Mel Gibson, and Clint Eastwood archetypes, and had them replaced first with Archie Bunker and Al Bundy, then Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin, and then whatever this is. Our Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly replaced with Gloria Steinem, then Madonna, leading to whatever this is. Put simply, we created artificial societal frameworks within which we're forced to act contrary to our natures as human beings, or suffer the myriad of consequences that spring from being out of touch with the times. We allowed our cultural stream to be hijacked and rerouted, and now look on helplessly as it swiftly carries us in a very dangerous direction. To any subscribers to the MGTOW ideology that may be listening, I fully understand and sympathize with your exasperation. Women in the Western world are the foremost targets of this cultural Marxist poison, and it shows more and more with each passing year. We live in challenging times. The question is, how do we handle this challenge? Do we raise the white flag, give up on our women, and act as if every last one of them is unsalvageable, keeping them at arm's